Moving on to the accounting process. So we will again not go into the details of this accounting process, but we will discuss some basic entries so that you know that how is accounting done or how are debits or credits recorded. So key rules are that if asset is increasing, you debit it. If asset is decreasing, you credit it. If liabilities are decreasing, you debit it, and if liabilities are increasing, you credit it. Expense debit and income credit. So let's do these some few examples, then we'll move forward. The business activity is file documents with regulatory authorities to establish a separate legal entity. You initially capitalize the company through deposit of $150,000 from the three owners. So you have deposited $150,000, that is your cash, and this cash is coming in from owners. That means that this cash is a part of capital, or it is the part of owner's equity. So that means your equity is going up. So whenever capital goes up, you credit. So simple accounting entry would be cash debit and equity credit with this amount 150,000. Any confusion in this? The very basic accounting should not be a very big of problem. Set up $100,000 investment account and purchase a portfolio of equities and fixed income securities. So when you set up an investment account, investment is an asset. So asset is going up, investment is going up. So you debit it, and you are putting in cash. So your cash will decrease. So decrease in cash is a decrease in asset, and so it should be credited. Pay $3,000 to landlord for office warehouse. 2,000 represents a refundable deposit, and 1,000 represents first month's rent. So this refundable deposit is your asset because this is a benefit that will flow to you in future. This is a refundable deposit, so it will be refunded in future, so you will get it back in future. So this is an asset. This 1,000 is your rent, represents first month's rent, and this 2,000 is your asset, which is a refundable deposit. And how much are you paying, or what is the cash outflow? That is 3,000. So that means your asset will be debited, that is refundable deposit, by 2,000. You are incurring an expense, so increase in expense is debit, so expense will be debited by 1,000, and you are paying a cash of 3,000, which is again an asset, so a decrease in asset is a credit. Any confusion so far in this accounting? Okay, purchase office equipment for 6,000 in cash. Very simple. So office equipment is asset, so increase in asset debited, and cash is again an asset, so decrease in cash is credited. Receive $1,200 cash for a 1-year subscription to the monthly newsletter. So again you are receiving cash, so cash is an asset, increase in asset is debited for a 1-year subscription to the monthly newsletter. So you have received something, or you have received a cash for a benefit that you will be providing in future, or for a product that you will be selling in future. So it is a liability for you. It is something that you haven't earned but you have received. So your unearned revenue or unearned fees will be credited. Why? Because this is a liability. An increase in liability should be credited. Any confusion so far? Purchase and receive 500 books at a cost of $20 per book for a total of 10,000. So you are purchasing 500 books for a cost of $10,000. So that means books are asset. So increase in books is debited, or an inventory. So 10,000. And how are you purchasing? Is invoice terms are that payment from IAL is due in 30 days. That is, you are not paying cash, you will be paying after some time. So if you are not paying as of now, that is a liability that you have to make, or that is an obligation that you have to meet in future. So that means your accounts payable should be credited by 10,000 again. Spend 600 on newspaper and trade magazine advertising for the month. So you are spending something, that means your cash is going out. So decrease in cash is credited. And trade magazine advertising for the month. So this is advertising is an expense. So that means advertising expenses debited because it is going up. Any confusion so far in any transaction? Moving on, hire a part-time clerk. The clerk is hired through an agency that also handles all payroll taxes. The company is to pay $15 per hour to the agency. The clerk works 6 hours prior to 31st January, but no cash will be paid until February. So clerk is working with you. If clerk is working, there is an expense that you are incurring. So that means expense should be debited. Because expense is increasing, clerk is working with you, but you are not paying clerk. So if you are not paying that clerk, you will be paying in future. That means it is an obligation for future, and future obligation is a liability. So your current liability should be credited. That is an obligation that you have to meet in future, and here it will be known as accrued wages. That is the expense that you have accrued for future. So these are some very basic transactions, should not be a problem. So first step is that to identify the activity. Second step in accounting process is that you record the transaction in the accounts. Once you have recorded it in the accounts, then comes preparation of financial statements. And when you prepare financial statements, there are 5 major types of financial statements that are required to be prepared under the accounting standards. That include balance sheet, income statement, other comprehensive income. These two are combined and known as total comprehensive income, or just comprehensive income. Then cash flow statement, statement of changes in equity, and notes to financial statement. So we have already discussed these statements in previous class. Just for an overview, what is balance sheet? Balance sheet tells you about financial position of the company. That is, how is company, what is the strength of the company on a particular date. And in analysis of balance sheet, you perform two basic types of analyses: liquidity analysis and solvency analysis. Liquidity analysis is the company's ability to meet short-term obligations, and solvency is to meet long-term obligation. Income statement tells you about the performance of the company or performance of a business. So it is for a period of time, not for a particular date. So it tells you about the performance over that period. And in income statement, major items to look at are growth and profitability. That is top line growth, or how is the overall business doing, is business growing or falling or whatever, and the improvement in profitability. That is what is ROI on the investments. Then other comprehensive income, any items which have been missed in income statement, which are not recorded in income statements, but lead to change in equity or impacts equity, that are recorded in other comprehensive income. For example, unrealized gains or losses. Cash flow statement tells you about the flexibility. And in analysis of cash flow statements, key analysis to perform are that what are the sources of cash flow from operations, where is cash flow from operation coming from, what are the overall sources of cash flows, what are the uses of cash flows, that where is cash coming in from and where is it being used. So for example, if cash is coming from cash flow from operations, that is a strong point. But if cash is not, if cash flow from operations is negative and cash is coming from financing activities, then that is a negative point. That reflects the risk. Statement of changes in equity, that tells you about the overall change in equity, that what factors has led to change in equity or the owner's capital. And then notes to financial statements, which support all the numbers that are reported on these statements. That is, any, for example, if a depreciation is reported on income statement, then the calculation of that depreciation would come in notes or in supplementary material with all the assumptions and estimates. So this is how overall financial statements are used in analysis. Moving on, a key concept to remember with respect to preparation of financial statements or with respect to accounting standards are accruals and valuation adjustments. So these are the core underlying principles that you should know about the accounting principles or how is accounting done. So one key principle to note is that if you have received cash for any sales, but that sales are to be made in future, that is, if you have received any cash in advance, that is an unearned revenue and that is your current liability. So you should not report it as a revenue until and unless you have actually made the sale or you have actually transferred the risk and rewards associated with the goods or services. Accrued revenue, if there is any sale that you have made, that is, you have sold the product but you haven't received any cash, that is accrued revenue and that is current asset. That is something that is for benefit for which you or cash for which will be received in future. Prepaid expenses, if you have paid for an expense in advance, that is your asset and that is known as prepaid expense. Accrued expenses, these are expenses recognized but for which cash has not yet been paid. So if you have incurred an expense during the year but you haven't paid a cash, that is accrued expense and that is current liability. So as per accounting standards, any expense that have been incurred or that is associated with a period should be recorded in that period, or any revenue associated with that period should be recorded in that period. Anything for which you have received cash or you have paid cash but which is not associated with that period should not be recorded on financial statements. That is the basic principle that should be followed in accounting or in preparation of financial statement. With respect to valuation, if you have any assets on balance sheet, those assets can be recorded based on different types of values. They can be recorded based on historical cost. They can be recorded based on fair value, that is their market value, or they can be recorded based on present value of future benefits. So there can be different values that can be used to report assets on balance sheet. So whenever you are comparing a company's balance sheet with another company's balance sheet, you should find out first that what are the measures that are being used or what are the assumptions or what are the techniques that are or strategies that are being used to report or record asset. So that if you are comparing two numbers from two different balance sheets, for you to compare them, first you should know whether the basis being used for both are same or not. If one company is reporting historical cost and another is reporting fair value for anything, then those are obviously not comparable. So this is another key thing to note when starting with the analysis of financial statement or specifically balance sheet. Sorry. Moving on to the basic accounting system flow, that how does the overall accounting system flows or works. So it starts with the recording of transactions in primary books. What are primary books? There will be a sales book, there will be a purchases book, there will be an expense book. So first the transactions are recorded in those primary books or in those books. Then from those books they are transferred to journal entries, and a general journal is formed in which journal entries are recorded, debits and credits are recorded. Then you make general ledger or T accounts, that would be purchase ledger, sales ledger or any other T accounts. Then once you have made the T accounts, then you make a trial balance in which you list down all the debits and all the credits. The purpose of trial balance is to find out whether everything is balanced or not. So if there is any error in the accounting, you will see it in trial balance because there will be a mismatch in debits and credits. Then based on that trial balance, you make financial statement that would include income statement, balance sheet, cash flow statement, notes to financial statement, and statement of changes in equity. And once you have financial statements, then your work with a chart, that will be the analysis of financial statements. So this is how overall accounting process flows. Moving on to using financial statements in security analysis. So this is again something that we discussed in last class as well, being repeated in this reading again. That is, from your when you are analyzing the financial statements, your focus should not solely be on the numbers that are being reported on the financial statement. So you should not only be focusing on what is reported on income statement, balance sheet, or cash flow statement. Your focus should rather be on where is that number coming from, or how is that number being calculated, or what are the factors that are leading to change in that number. So that if any factor changes, you should be able to analyze its impact, or you should be able to come up with its impact on the financial statement. If any trend or if anything is changing in the market, or if anything with respect to company is changing, you should be able to find out that how will it impact financial statement or the items of financial statement. That is the core job as an analyst. And second thing is that you should be able to find out why do you need to understand this accounting. You need to understand it because you should be able to find out any manipulation. So for example, if a company incurs an expense and pays by cash, then what should be the entry? The entry should be expense debit, cash credit. This will balance the balance sheet, because in balance sheet you have assets equal to liabilities plus equity. So your cash will decrease, assets will decrease, and increase in expense will decrease your equity, or will decrease your net income. Net income will decrease your retained earnings, and retained earnings will decrease your equity. So this will balance the equation. But maybe there is a company which wants to overstate its profits, or which wants to improve its profitability or report an overstated profitability. What it can do is that instead of recording expenses, it can record increase in another asset. So it decreases one asset and it decreases cash but increases another asset. So instead of recording expense, it may record an asset. So you should be able to find out that manipulation or those kind of manipulations. So if any expense or asset is changing in a financial statement or in income statement or in balance sheet, the key is that that change is not so important, but the reason for that change is more important, and that is your job that you will have to perform when we start with the analysis of financial statements. So this is it about the reading. That is a basic idea about the accounting system.